Cat, I'm gonna be first up. I love the Foxman, by the way. I feel like not enough people ride these or appreciate the way they look. There's a Legion edition too. I like him. They look so good. It's gonna be opener by Nesmirska on the side, avoiding the trap. It's gonna go for a trinket. Cat might be in a bit of trouble. That is a lot of damage out for the rogue. The hunter just tried to stay calm, collected, but main needs to panic, try to go for a stun, but the stun by the bird does get dodged. I honestly thought that's actually kind of weird in my head. And normally, like intimidation, normally you have a pet that charges at you, and dodging intimidation makes sense. But dodging like a bird that hits you from above, I feel like that should still stun, but I think they just doing it for consistency. It's just the way that it works is very weird. This Mershka, though, does get a reset and a full reset for Kedem. Kedem actually only used Exil here. So he used Exil and his stun and didn't use a trinket. So that's huge. This Mershka out of a trinket. So this gives Kedem an advantage. As long as you have an out versus the Rogue's Nest go, you should be good. My shield broken 0-1 seconds, Jesus. Yeah, it is just a lot of damage. They did buff monks a couple of times. They nerfed some of those like outlier bursts, but I think they really wanted to make that kind of one of the Celestials a very strong playstyle. So yeah, it is pain. Probably should have bowled the monks burst immediately. At that point, like, I think normally you try to like really maximize your defensives, but yeah, I think the monk just kind of spiked out of left field though. Like, to be honest, looking back at it, it was like, wait a second, I'm fine, I'm not fine. By the time you realize it's over, mad damage out for Kedem. Look at that, this Mershka just absolutely melting, still out in the open. You know, another rapid fire. I think he's just dead. One more hit is all he needs. Stun, does he get it? Black arrow, not enough to kill the rogue. Cheating death. Cheap shot right after. Oh, but explosive already hits him. Does burn a trinket for it, but does take out the rogue. The damage that Marksmanship Hunters could do. That's another spec that's also been nerfed a bunch for burst. They still could just pop off. Like a good setup. My god. Full freeze. Eloise does burn a trinket for Kedem. Main to play super carefully. Just need to find a way to kite out Eloise as best as possible. Does go for a stun from a distance. Eloise looking for a setup here onto Kedem. Does get knocked. Looking for that line of sight for a pillar. Still has access to the defenses, but will need to get a meta setup with a stun. Volley down. Should be able to see Eloise. Might need to pop a defensive here unless it's just over. Yeah, the volley to rapid fire, man. Once it catches you, if any of that crits when you're super low, there's just not much you can do. Freezing trap waiting for Lemon. And Kedem looking for a camo. Got himself a clean one. Got himself such a clean one, dude. It's kind of cool that Marksmanship does not need a pet anymore. Normally, I feel like when you have a pet, it's a little bit harder to land a camo because, like, if the pet gets dotted or hit by AoE, it'll bust you out immediately. But, like, the fact that you were just out in the open on your own, no need for a pet anymore, but still have the same pet utility, it is huge. Does get himself a rapid fire with an aim shot. Lemon landing a quick in cap. Does get a lockdown stun onto Lemon. Does go for a trinket. Kedem needs something here. Does go for a CC chain. Just as long as he can kite out Lemon, not let him close the gap, he'll be fine. Celestial is huge damage. Does go for a turtle shell. That is the most damage out of a monk, even though there's images are on Kedem. So it's not all him in images, but it's just enough damage. Just winning just 2 images with Zuena on you, volley down, but Lemon making sure to avoid it, even making sure to back away from the pillar as best as he can. He not only does he go for line of sight, but also the distance. Rapid fire still do connect. Catches a quick in cap. Does he have a leg sweep? He does. For Kedem, does have pet sack. That's going to help him out a ton. Still taking so much damage. Karma to follow. Freezing trap right after. Avoiding the images. That is some work right there. Do you have another CC chain for Lemon is the question. Does have a double tap. That is a huge burst available. As long as you can get some of those damage in, that'll be fine. Knocked up in air, so you kind of limit to what you can do. Does get stunned up really, really short. Kedem go for aim shots. He needs more of those. Does go for a stun. Lemon could be in a lot of trouble right now. This could be the end of the monk right now. One more black arrow could be the end. Does get away, but do you have a volley around the pillar? Wait, why are you so low on health? I think Battle Masters ran out. A kill command. Kill shot would have been it. Volley down, rapid fire, doesn't matter. I think it's over. Just pelt it down. Arrows in the back of your head. It's just over. My God. Kedem catches the quick camo. Does he get caught out? He does. Jareem with an aggressive trinket. Looking for the kill. He's smelling blood in the water. Trying to see if he get a setup. That is a very aggressive trinket, but I think he realized that if I let Kedem run amok here, this boy, he just gonna be causing trouble for 2 minutes. Brent does get aggressive here. Full arcade surge right after Kedem. Does he have an answer? Does go for Exil. That's about all you got. Actually, Warlock Healthstone, but it doesn't matter. Yeah, Jareem. Kedem was left worn out after those duels, but going through and toppling not only a sub-rogue, but a Windwalker? That is some work. Plush just out here with an umbrella. I like that set. Oh, did you get the new size? Oh, yeah, you do. Oh, man, that looks so good. Dude, the katanas and the size and the nunchucks, that looks so sick. I feel like we need monks using these things at all times. I feel like monks should be required to use nunchucks eternally, dude. You know what I mean? Nunchucks and Bruce Lee Mog, dude. That's all you're allowed for this month. Not allowed on any other set. Could you do turtle and regeneration? Turtle, yes, but regeneration, what do you mean? Like Exile? I mean, I guess you could burn the two, but I guess you would want to really separate the two, honestly. Depends what you mean by regeneration, though, Wes. How to react to burst when someone could react to Jayhawk, use an ice block to remove the karma. Oh, yeah, dude. Oh, yeah. Yeah, last duel. Yeah. That was definitely a very, very, like, greedy move by mages, though. When they see a karma, you block it, come out of it immediately. That usually you do that when you're like, you know you're gonna win. Plush is trying to see if he can avoid Dream. Does pick up the eyes. So far, still alive. And Plush did commit offensive cooldowns, but Dream survived him just fine. I wasn't even, like, calling and commentating that whole duel. He just went for greater invis. And did burn a block, though, however. So he is going to be behind on some major cooldowns. Gouge for Plush, who is a sub-rogue. Blink out for Dream. Able to lock him down. Needs to make sure that Secret Technique does work. But blinking away from the Secret avoids the shadowed images. The duel, that initial shadowed image. Dream with an ultra does get himself lots of health to work with. The FA does a ton of damage, but Dream may still be in a lot of trouble. The rogue is relentless, not giving him a moment to catch a breather with Toxie. Gonna be up next, playing out the assassination. Plush left with not a lot of health and without a trinket, so for Toxie, she'd be able to do something here. Cheap shot about Plush as Toxie tried to fanatize him out in the open into a full disarm. Plush trying to see if he can get himself some damage on Toxie, but he's much of a hit and run spec, so he's just trying to see if he can get out of there. But I think with Toxie bleeding him up, I think it's over, right? Dude, look at a gouge into an ambush, into a cheap shot. Bro, gouge not breaking damage immediately is some work, Blizzard. It's basically another stun. It is basically another stun, and that's a full bleed set onto Plush. Cheat death, but couldn't cheat the blades. Jayhawk immediately out there. Flurries down onto Toxie, who's immediately going in for them Garrotes. Trying to see if he can lock down Jay. Back to that Frosty Mage this time around instead of Arcane. That's going to work out for him really, really well. It's going to be full Meteor, but a Cloak of Shadows keeping the rogue alive. Full Death Mark on Jay. Trying to see if he can get a block out of him. Goes in for a Vanish. It just goes in for Envenoms. Oh, Jay's still dead. Holy, that Envenom play. What was that damage? What was that burst? I feel like his health bar just absolutely disappeared. It's like he casts a greater invis on his health bar. And he's the wizard in these duels. He's trying to see if he can get him some setup. But the Garrotes, man, the Garrotes silencing him out completely. You can't cast, you can't say a word into a Kingsbane right after. It's a matter of time, Jay. Kingsbane is going to be the enemy, I think. Yeah, a couple of poison throws in there. And Coldblade trying to see if he can get a setup blind instantly. Trying to see if he can walk away. Succubus trying to catch him, but doesn't quite do it. So this gives Toxie a forced reset here. That is massive for him right now. Needs a bit of a reset. Needs a bit of a sippy. Xander regen, I guess you could actually, yeah. The problem with Xander, it'll break to physical damage. While you're turtle, you are deflecting damage, but still it could be like, well, technically you're getting attacked. I think when you bubble and you're immune, you're not, like, you can't be hit by anything. But turtle, I don't think you're immune, you just deflect damage. But still, it kind of like connects, but then kind of fades away from you. You know what I mean? It all depends how it's coded, really. It really depends how it's coded. Big Inferno down Toxic, Mortical, Cobra making sure the Toxic does not escape this at all. Full lockdown, unless he can have himself an escape, I think it's over. Yeah, with the Chaos Mother barreling him down behind the pillar, nothing he can do. I think as twice now, the Cobra hasn't really got to really play, quote unquote, but he's got to do some finishing work, finishing touches there. Twice against Toxic, I think those should need a proper 1v1 duel, bit of a rematch. Alrighty, both Plush as well as Johnny. Let me know when you boys are ready. We'll get another one going.